Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Detour Live, and the Vuelta is finished, but we're going to go back to our old format where we bring on really special guests. And Iffy, we have got an absolute belter for our viewers today because arguably he's the hottest man in world cycling at the moment.
Yes, my pick for the Worlds in a week and a half. He hates me saying that, but
well, I've told you before, don't put pressure on riders when they come on. Just take it easy. You've done it in the past.
I know. It always has an unhappy ending. But anyway, look, an amazing Vuelta. So, of course, we're talking about Magnus Cort. There he is in his pink jersey. We'd rather him be back in a green edge jersey, but hey, that's another story. But sensational Vuelta. 3 stages, could have easily been 5, and just enormous form. Enormous form.
Well, let's bring him straight in. Magnus Cort, welcome to the Detour. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Yeah, thank you. And that was a nice introduction.
Yeah. Well, you don't feel too much pressure, I hope, when it comes to the Worlds, because as we said, if he's got a track record of just slamming it on riders and they're just like, mate, don't do that.
Yeah, I've heard it from also other people out there. But I think the Worlds is a different thing. It's a one-day race, and for sure I'll do my very best to be good there and go for a result and maybe even the win. But I think my specialty is really like stages in stage races. So like a Grand Tour suits me perfectly.
Mate, amazing month. I mean, going into the Vuelta, I mean, what was your goals? And, you obviously knew that you had really good legs.
Yeah, actually, I didn't knew I was coming in that good. I did the tour before, and it was first time in my career to do 2 Grand Tours back to back. So I backed the training off, taking it a little bit easy, but at the same time kept riding a bit in between, and actually been focusing on being good at the Worlds. So I wanted to be able to build a little bit in through the Vuelta, and already in the first week I was going very well, and somehow the form even went even higher, I think.
Iffy?
Yeah, well, in stage 4, I think it was, where you finished 3rd, but you're really close too, and you were the quickest sprinters there. And then what you did just 2 days later on stage 6, it still staggers me. It was just such an amazing ride. In the break, hard work. You hardly had any lead, and to hold Roglic off on that really steep climb, that was amazing. It must have really excited you, mate.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very big thing with to win a stage in the Vuelta, and I think when you sit on the bike, you don't realize how spectacular it was in the moment. I heard a lot of people really saying, maybe also I spoke with a Danish journalist and Danish folks, but for many it was like the most exciting bike race they've ever seen.
They do get excited, the Danes. We're obviously Aussies, and it bloody excited us, mate. So I think
I actually made a statement. It was one of the greatest stages I've ever seen, and you've never let me forget it. But it was exciting for me as well, being team mascot for Green Edge. Of course, I sort of barracking for Matthews a bit, and he rode one of his best races too. He realised he had to move. Otherwise, they weren't going to get you. He did everything. He couldn't do it. But that closed the gap a bit to you. But it was just a wonderful stage. And Roglic roared home, but he couldn't get to you either. So, yeah, one of the great stages. And then you did it again. What was it, stage? I'm just trying to think.
Well, this is the thing. 11. You didn't stop. You just
stage 11. It was almost like an exact copy. Only Roglic did get you that time, but it was so similar.
Yeah, it was. It was very similar. A little bit hillier stage in general, but same thing. Uphill final in the end, and this time I think they were just 5 seconds too close to me there in the final, and they got me, unfortunately.
Mate, how important it was a classic stage when old Jenski, he patted himself on the arse and basically said, righto, Maggie, get on the wheel, let's go, mate. How important has Jens been, and particularly the chemistry?
are very important. Like we know each other very well, and coming into that final on stage 12, we knew exactly what to do and how to ride it. And I think that helps a lot. Gives me confidence that he believes in me and he wants to support me with everything. And he also said he was ready. He would go for a long lead out. So it was just about hanging on.
Well, there's one thing we like doing on this show, Iffy, and that is, of course, firing up the Detour DeLorean.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
You're probably thinking, Magnus, what the hell's going on? We like going back in time and showing old clips. And last week we showed your first ever Grand Tour stage win, which I think stage 18 in the 2016 Vuelta. But I want to show some highlights of that final day in 2016 when obviously we were taking the piss a fair bit, trying to get your girlfriend, and there's a lot of pressure. I think we put it out there on social media. Hey, if you want to go on a date with Magnus, fire in your tweets, and we got donuts, and you were shattered on the bus. And here's the highlights from that final day in 2016 Vuelta.
Hello everybody, welcome to the last stage of the Vuelta 2016. It's been a really great Vuelta so far. We got one more stage left. And I'm sitting here with a Grand Tour stage winner. Was also my roomie these last 3 weeks, and it's his first Grand Tour. So how was it for you, Maggie?
Well, it's a hard race. I think a Grand Tour, it's something different, and I can feel the body is really tired now. I'm looking forward to getting this race done, but also really looking forward to get this last stage 21 done.
I have to say I'm pretty impressed what this guy did to win a stage in his first Grand Tour. Although there's a little disappointment. I think everybody knows we've been looking for a girlfriend for him for this last night's dinner. But somebody but somebody told me that apparently they're all waiting for a guy to win 2 stages, and they'll all be at the finish line today. So Magnus, I think you're up today.
Pressure, mate.
If it's 2 stages it takes, I'll try to take one today and see if I can get a date out of that.
Think it's what the lady told you before?
No.
Guapo.
Guapo. What does that mean?
Guapo.
Means handsome. Very handsome.
Nice.
You're up today, mate.
Come on! Maggie!
Good on you, mate. Yeah. Great stuff, guys. We just won on the Castellana.
Picked up a girl here?
Start from the neutral zone.
Good evening. Beautiful. You come up, Jens. Did what you had to do. Could have went 50 meters further and a bit faster. But you did enough? Huh?
I was thinking
what you had to do.
I was thinking about a girlfriend. Let's get him a girlfriend. Let's get him a girlfriend. Let's get him a girlfriend.
Nah, bloody fantastic. I don't know. So crazy. Yeah, thanks to the whole team, man. It's nice to Liverpool to get support on a day where we have a guy on the podium as well. That's the people look after me here. It's crazy.
Bloody great memories.
That's sensational.
There was through that period, man. It was so much fun, particularly on the bus. But from when we got to dial in and talk to Jens, it really does feel like there's similar culture within EF at the moment. Like it just feels like it's fun.
Yeah, for sure it is. It feels very similar. We are like a group of friends racing together, and also really good chemistry with the staff as well. Like it was back when I was with Michelton and Orica. Yeah.
How important is that from a performance point of view, like the environment, like, you know, you see a lot of riders, they change teams, they go into a team, they're like, you know, it doesn't quite fit. But when you're in the right environment, you know, how much does that sort of transform into form?
I think the last bit only changes a little bit, like when you go from a right environment to a really good one. Maybe in a Grand Tour, it's even more important because you're together so many days. But for sure, if you are in a bad environment, then things is difficult to to perform on the bike as well.
Iffy?
I was going to say that was wonderful to watch that little video then, and that amazing final stage of the Vuelta back then. But your final stage of this Vuelta was almost as amazing. I mean, to sit in that, what's it like, firstly, to sit in the hot seat for like an hour and a half or whatever it was, and then get pipped on the last one. But you must have been very pleased, only 14 seconds behind Roglic, who is obviously in super form.
Yeah, I got very exciting towards the end. At first, when I arrived to the hot seat, I thought, there will come someone around, and we'll see how good my time is. And more and more people started, and nobody came close. And then the GC guys started to come, and I knew Roglic, he was the guy to beat, like to win the time trial. But as more and more riders came past the first checkpoint, and still nobody were really close, and I thought, fuck, maybe I have a chance. And Roglic, I think he was 20 seconds in front of on the first checkpoint, and I was like, all right, yeah, he got it. But it was very nice experience to be in the hot seat. I think it's first time in my life as a professional rider I sit in a hot seat.
So, I'm just going to follow that up, because you've always been a handy time trialist, but this is another level. What have you done over the last 12 months to take you up to that level in time trialing? Have you done anything special, wind tunnel testing or something?
No testing yet. That's hopefully to come to get the last 1% out. I'm not sure exactly what I've done. With the EF, I've also got a lot more room and space on the team, also to like go full in the time trials. Quite often I never tried because I had to save the legs for later stages. I think we have some really fast equipment, and somehow I think I also am able to like find into a different state of mind, maybe where I feel the pain less somehow. I think I'm still aware it's there, and you still have to pace yourself correctly. But I don't feel like I'm sitting fighting, eating the pain as much as I maybe did in the past. And even though I go faster now.
And the other question is, are you going to ride the time trial in the Worlds?
No, that's not the plan.
No.
Oh, mate, you almost won the bloody final stage. Just put your hand up for the bloody Denmark.
Anyway. I think we have some really good time trialists, and it's also a different thing to do it last day in a Grand Tour, which always suits me good when everybody is tired, compared to coming in and do a fresh one in a one-day race.
We've got some live questions and comments coming in. Obviously, Wendy Superfan, hi guys. Will Wizard was supposed to be yesterday with Aussie Haig. We're aware of that. We're trying to lock down an interview with Jack Haig, but geez, we've got Magnus. Like, come on, mate. Fitzy Golf Pro, hi fellas. Obviously Wendy as well. Congrats, Magnus. Great to see you on the detour. I think this one from Fitzy Golf Pro, what I, as the sap you were craving for after the Vuelta, makes no sense. I think he's trying to say, once you finish a Grand Tour, is there anything that you can't have during a Grand Tour that you go, all right, man, I'm just going to lay into this, even if it's for a couple of days?
It depends a little bit. I think this year I've had my eyes on the Worlds, and especially also when it has been going so well in the Vuelta, it's easy to stay focused. I've tried somewhat to stay focused, but I've had a a few burgers. I love burgers.
Just on that, you know me, I'm passionate about burgers as well. Are you like a bacon with extra meat, or what's your go-to? You just a standard burger guy?
I like the bacon, but not the double
Double patty.
beef. No, thanks. I would rather have 2 burgers, and I take 2 burgers instead.
Very good. Have you got a go-to burger shop in Girona? Because you know they're a bit like Australia. There's a plethora of options out there.
No, not really. I haven't found any of them like extremely good, high level, but there's a few. There's a new one opened. I just tried called Fuck You. So it's a special name, but yeah, it's they were pretty good. And then I'm lucky I have my bike, so it's not uncommon that I sit an hour or 2 away from Girona in my cycling kit and eating burgers.
Well, one of the things we often talked about is your obsession with denim. Every time we saw you'd either wear denim shorts or denim pants. Is that still continue? Because even that shirt you're wearing looks like a hint of acid wash.
Yeah, I have my denim shorts on right now, so it's still going for sure.
Where did that obsession start? Was it a childhood thing? Is your dad like a massive denim wearer?
Yeah, I think my dad, he doesn't wear anything else than denim pants as well. So that's probably where I got it from. And
don't change, mate. Just keep rolling with it. We've got a couple other comments. Rebecca says, that was amazing, Vuelta, Magnus. Well done. Stuart also says, one of the stories out of the Vuelta was it was the last ride for Fabian Aru. Does Magnus have any moments with Aru to share?
Not really. Obviously, I've ridden a lot of races with him, but we've never really been close or like chatting much up. So I don't know him that well, unfortunately.
We could have shared a story from Aru from the Tour de France last year, but it's not a good one. Yeah. But anyway, what we're going to do, Magnus, we're going to have a quick drinks break, and then we want to go back to the beginnings. We want to go like what was like growing up in the small village on that island. Was it Bronholm? And then get a real insight into your development and how you ended up here. So hang with us. Quick word from our partners and sponsors, and we'll be back with we'll go back to the beginnings with Magnus.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Life is like a two-way street. It's about consideration and mutual respect. Roads are much the same. However you get around, walk, ride or drive, if we share our roads, we can all be safer. The Amy Gillett Foundation is Australia's peak cycling safety charity. Our mission is for safe cycling in Australia. Our vision is for 0 cyclist deaths. Over the last year, we've seen an enormous increase in people taking up cycling, whether it be for recreation, with the family, commuting, or even to start your own cycling career. We need to do more to make it safer for every cyclist. 20 cyclists every day are hospitalised, and 1 cyclist is killed every 10 days on Australian roads. So, the next time you jump on your bike or hop in your car, remember to practice the 4 C's. Be courteous, calm, considerate, and conscientious. Every cyclist death is preventable, and we all deserve to get home safely. Please donate to help the Amy Gillett Foundation make the roads safer for you and for me.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange, and great messages there from our partners at the Amy Gillett Foundation. Now, Magnus, what was it like growing up in Bornholm? A lot of viewers would go, where the hell is that? It's a small island off Denmark, population 40,000, but how does that develop a young cyclist?
No, it has been great growing up there. I've really enjoyed it, and I always enjoy coming back. I think a lot of young people, they are tired of it because gets too small in the end if you want to go out partying, meet new people and stuff like that. But for me, it was great. The nature is really amazing, at least if you compare to rest of Denmark. It's a bit hillier. We have rocks as well. Only place in Denmark where there's rocks and some nice big wide beaches also. So we have a bit of everything there.
Do you find growing up in a smaller place, it is a lot about you develop this skill set on how to communicate with people? Like there's a big difference between country people and people that grow up in a city.
Yeah, so I actually feel like I grew up in the city. I grew up in the biggest city on Bornholm, which is 14,000 people. So it's
mate, that's the same population as Sale. We're on the same page, mate.
Yeah, but since that's the biggest city on the island, it's kind of the capital. So everything you need to do, you can do there, and So I feel like I'm from the city, and then the rest of the people on the island they're from the countryside.
I was just going to ask, Maggie. So the island, was it connected to the rest of Denmark by ferry, or was there what was that? How did you get across to Copenhagen? Say.
By ferry. You take a boat to Ystad in Sweden. It's 1.5 hours, and from there you have another 1 hour 30 drive, and then you get to Copenhagen. So you have like 3 hours to reach Copenhagen, which is the closest point of Denmark.
And how did you get into cycling? Because was your father a cyclist, or where did that spark ignite?
No, he wasn't, but I think he had a childhood dream to have a road bike, and he never had one. But when I turned 12, we both got a road bike at the same time and started riding together. So the first year or two, I think I was just sitting behind in the slipstream, and then slowly I could go next to him and eventually overtake him. But obviously I didn't do many races. There's some small races on the island, but there would be racing all more age groups together, not young guys. You can't put a peloton together of 12-year-olds. Yeah.
And when did you start realizing, shit, I'm pretty good at this? Like I could actually have a chance at making this a profession?
Oh, I don't know when I thought I could make it a profession. I think when you're young, you always dream of turning professional, whatever sport you're doing. And I always did a lot of sports growing up, especially running. I did a lot, and it fit in pretty well. I started having a little bit of knee trouble when at the same time as I got my road bike, just because I was growing a bit fast, so nothing major, but I could go on the bike, and then I just slowly transitioned over to the bike, but did a lot of also running and some duathlons and even a few triathlons as well. But I already have had a high level from the first races I did. I think the very first race on Danish soil against my own age group was the Danish mountain bike championships for people under 15, where I was, I don't remember, second or third. So that was a really good start in your first race.
Oh yeah.
But I did a bit of Googling, and as we do.
There we go.
And I saw that you were a Danish junior road champion. So how did that come about?
Yeah, so for a number of years, I did both mountain bike and road simultaneously. And the first year junior, I actually focused on the mountain biking, but I got a little bit tired of it and lost motivation a little bit on the mountain bike, and then I changed over to focus on the road for my second year junior, and that turned out really well. Not only being national champ, but also I won a few Nations Cups, so that was really big.
So tell us about how you first came about to join Green Edge, because my recollection of the story was Whitey was like, mate, we've just signed one of the hottest young riders in the world at the moment. He's from Denmark. I didn't know much about you. And then when you first come to Girona, I remember I was like, I don't know why, but I sort of fell into the role of any new signings, get to know them and break the ice. And you started coming around in the early days of getting haircuts at my little apartment. You give me like a liter of beer. They must have been some of the best haircuts you ever had back in the day, Maggie. But how did it all come about? And can you remember the first phone call that you got to say, hey, you're joining the World Tour?
I don't remember the first phone call, but before I turned professional, I was doing very, very well. So I had quite a few offers actually. Then I was down together with my dad down meeting Whitey at his home in Oliva, where we had a chat and stayed the night and signed the contract the next morning. And when we flew down there, I didn't we came just to hear and about the team, and actually thought I wouldn't sign anything. Take it a little bit easy, hear what else is around, and I had spoken with other teams, but then we were there. It sounded really, really good. We slept one night, and we are ready to sign it.
So how important is your old man as an influence with not just, he's your dad, but like when it comes to business decisions and working out the best fit for you as a team, how important is his influence?
Quite important. I still get his advice. But for my first contract, I didn't have a manager. I got plenty of help from both my dad and the team manager on the continental team I was at, and the national coach as well. I think before I turned pro, there'd been a period where the young Danish professionals had struggled a little bit, breaking through on the World Tour level, and so now they were taking really good care and making sure that riders signed with the right teams and things were going well. So without a manager, I think I had the best setup possible with people that knew me very well and wanted me the best. And I was also super happy. I think I did the right choice going to Green Edge back then.
Well, we've got a new guest that can come in and chime in on some questions as well, and that is the voice of cycling. I know in Denmark, he's probably not known as the voice because they would have got guys like Brian Nygaard for their Tour de France coverage, but he's a big deal, Magnus, and that is, of course, Phil Liggett. Phil Liggett joins us live. Phil, we've got obviously the hottest man in world cycling at the moment, mate. What would you like to open the batting with Magnus Cort?
Well, I'd like to say well done, Magnus. What a hell of a great season you're having, mate, and thanks for all your entertainment in the Vuelta. You gave John Tavaro lots of happy hours, I must confess. Magnus, you must have been surprised, though, with the results you got.
Yeah, for sure. It was a very positive surprise. I came in hoping for a win. I really almost thought that I could win a stage in the Tour, or at least I hoped for it, so I didn't get that. But then I was very motivated to get a revenge in the Vuelta and take a stage win. But I never dreamt of taking 3. Obviously, you can't dream of 2. I did that before. We've seen the videos early on, but 3 I hadn't even dreamt about it. So that was just amazing.
Yeah,
but
go on.
Yeah, Phil.
No, and the 2 second places. I think it was 2 second places as well, wasn't it, Magnus? Yeah. Does this mean, Magnus, that you're never going to shave your moustache off now?
Yeah, maybe. We see. I don't think I've made any rules about it, but I enjoy having it, and I think I've almost had it for almost 2 years, or maybe 1.5.
Oh, okay.
Who inspired you? Was it Mitch Docker? Michael Hepburn? There's obviously a culture of these big soup strainers going on in Girona at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Mitch Docker has inspired me as well, and I think he has also encouraged me to get it. I think I had it and took it off, and now it has been back for a while. So, but Mitch says I was also a little bit afraid, if you're like breaking in his style and like stealing.
Oh yeah,
but he was like, no, take it, go. It's great. So
it's because you haven't backed it up with the mullet. You haven't gone full Mitch. You've just taken half of his credit. So. Yeah, but one other thing I really like, Magnus, is what you've been doing on social media. You've done this campaign of reviewing hotels when you stay at races. What was the inspiration for that?
I think I came up with the idea myself. Now I have stopped it. It does take a lot of time in the end. But I did it for almost 2 years. It came up when I was racing for Astana. I'm not a big social media guy, and the team was pushing that I should do something. And for me, I don't see much value in posting pictures of me on top of different mountains and just showing how beautiful the sun is shining or whatever. It's all a bit fake, and also you can't say anything against your sponsors or. Like, so whenever people are saying, "Oh, this is the best bike of my life," you have to say that now. So I came up with this thing where I could show part of cycling, like the hotels we stay in, and then no sponsors, so I don't have to say it's always good. So I could show it exactly how it is, and there was not more hotels than I could show. Also, every single one of them. So I'm not picking the worst or picking the best. So in that whole period where I've done it for almost 2 years, I think only twice I forgot to take photos. So it's really everything we stay in, which in my opinion is great. That I'm not trying to show a specific side of it. I just want to show how it actually is out there.
But the other funny videos that you're doing is when you would put on a press hat and you'll make out you're the journo and ask yourself questions, take the press hat off and then answer it. What was all that about? Because it was bloody hilarious.
Yeah, so that was last year in the Vuelta, and after when things just started to open up a bit again after the Corona pandemic. Obviously, we couldn't see that many press people at the race. So last year in the Vuelta, I decided I would be my own press officer.
That was sensational. So
that was a lot of fun as well. And I've heard for a lot of people they want both that and the rooms and ratings back. But
couldn't be asked. It's too much work.
Yeah, it is work. You know yourself how much it takes, and I'm not sitting like clipping it around. It's pretty much just the raw tape, but still, it takes time.
Yeah, Iffy.
Well, my big question is the Worlds. You know, you're my favourite for the World Championships, as I've said. But in all seriousness, we're heading. When you're heading up to Belgium, and what's your plan for that very important day?
Yeah, so I'm heading up already Sunday, and what is it? 9 days. First, I will do the team relay, and then the road race afterwards. I think we have a really, really strong team from Denmark with a lot of good cards to play. So it will be a very exciting race for sure to be in the red and white colours.
Now, Magnus, I'm up in the north of England where I don't actually live at the moment. So just outside my window in exactly 2.5 hours' time, absolute coincidence, although my wife doesn't believe me, but the Tour of Britain goes past the door here. And it's on stage 5, I think, today. And Wout van Aert is there. Now, 20 kilometres up the road is the highest point in England. And they're climbing straight up to the top. And then they race to the east side of England and finish in Gateshead. And Wout van Aert is riding extremely well. He does seem to be the rider to potentially beat, I think, at the World Championships. He's won a big stage here the day before yesterday now. He lost his lead yesterday, but 8 seconds is neither here nor there. He's looking to be pretty sharp.
Yeah, for sure. I think he will definitely be a man to watch, and there's a lot of riders on form at the moment. So
Alaphilippe also here.
He is, and he has been looking great as well. I have seen that.
Yeah, they're riding head to head at the moment. And how are you traveling around the country with all these COVID tests, etc.? Because Belgium is a difficult country for a British person now. We're a red zone to Belgium, so I don't know how the English boys are getting there from Great Britain to ride the Worlds. How are you doing it?
Yeah, I think when we come in for races, it's like working. So usually it goes without any trouble. Obviously, we need the right tests, and I myself is also vaccinated now, so I think that should help us as well.
Yeah.
Maggie, I heard a stat that you've won the most Grand Tour stages of any Danish rider in history. You've obviously won 5 at the Vuelta, 1 at the Tour de France. I mean, you think about your journey, like growing up in that small island off Denmark. Do those stats sink in at any point?
Yeah, it's 6 at the Vuelta now.
I was going to say that.
Well, I say 5. I robbed you one. Sorry,
yeah.
There's just so many.
No, but it's great. It's something already when I won the first stage this year that the Danish press were on that I was just moving up there and getting close, and in Denmark it has been a really big thing that it was now Bjarne Riis that I passed. He had 6 stages in total. But obviously, I'm not a bigger name than Bjarne Riis or Rolf Sørensen or even like current riders like Mads Petersen that's been world champion. But it's a lot of fun that I on certain statistics come out on top, and I really enjoy that.
Have you noticed a big uptake though? Like you said, you're not as big as like Bjarne Riis, but surely your name, you should be able to get a free pair of denim jeans when you go back to Denmark for sure.
Yeah, I haven't tried to ask for it, but maybe I should.
I'm interested to know, Magnus. There's a lot of good individual Danes coming onto the international. It has been now for 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, I'm a good friend of Rolf Sørensen's, and in the older days, of course, I commentated on Bjarne Riis's victory in the '96 Tour de France. But why are the Danes all coming through so nicely now? Because you're a small nation, but individually you are producing some outstanding cyclists. Is there some secret we should know about?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard question to answer, and it is correctly that we are doing better than ever before. We are more riders on the World Tour than ever before, and also winning more races. I think they had a rough time just before I turned professional, with still big towns coming through, and not really succeeding, and I think the national team tried to look into could they change something when they left the riders, because quite often I think you turn pro and it was just like you go and now you will hand yourself on the team. And I think now the national team keeps an eye a little bit longer on the riders, making sure that they come in securely and find that spot on the World Tour. And another thing that has changed is a lot of riders start to live in Denmark. A few of the older pros have moved back, and some of the young guys they stay, and for sure that can help. It can be a big change if you go from continental level to World Tour, and at the same time you leave home, and you're not only leaving home but go to a foreign country where you don't speak the language. So for some people, for sure, it's the right decision to stay in Denmark. If you know things are working out well for you there, then you shouldn't change a winning team.
And what about the size of the World Championship team? How many of you qualified for the Worlds? Do you know, Magnus, for the road race?
Yeah, we are a full team, so we are eight riders.
Wow!
Yeah,
and now you guys are going to go in all for one and one for all. I mean, but you're all on rival teams normally. How do you cope with that situation when you all meet up? I guess when you get to Antwerp or Belgium, whatever it is. Yeah.
No, so far I think we have never had issues with the national team. It has always worked very well, and with people willing to sacrifice themselves for each other. And a big part of this young generation, we know each other under 23s and maybe even juniors, and then we've had a few older guys integrated. But there's always a link between, so everybody kind of know each other. But obviously, a guy like me now, the youngest riders now turning pro, I don't really know from the past. But I think, maybe it's easier being such a small country that you know each other pretty well, and the atmosphere is just great. They're always showing up with the national team, whether being Worlds or maybe European sometimes.
I remember racing a Tour of Denmark a bit before you were born, Magnus. I think it was 1973.
Just a little bit.
Amateur tour, 6-day tour in Copenhagen. But I remember being impressed with how strong Danish cycling was at that time. And there were like two groups. There was a really strong group from Copenhagen, and then there was another group from over in the mainland, and they didn't like each other. It was really serious rivalry. Did that continue, or was that something of the past?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think it has continued. I think even though we are a small country, we still sometimes like to bully each other like brothers, maybe. If you're against something bigger, then you're the best friends. But if we're just Danes together, of course, we take the piss at each other, and they will all call me this stupid guy from Bornholm, but that's all right. And
but it's a good point. It's a good point you raised, because like Green Edge back in the day, we had Nicky Strobel, the Danish chef. We had Brian Nygaard, who was the media manager. We had yourself. There seemed like there was a lot of similarities between like the Danish personality and the Aussies. Did you find that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it was quite easy to slide in there and understand the humor of the team and being part of it. And that was also one of the advices I got when I chose Greenwich originally, that the Australians, they're great people. So
now, careful, you don't have to say that because you're on Australian podcast. It's fine.
I got a couple of comments. Tom Maloney says, Magnus, were you like Iffy and almost fall off your bike when you saw ladies sunbaking across the hedges next to the bike path while training in Copenhagen?
Well, there you go.
Pardon, can I have that again?
He said, were you like Iffy and almost fell off your bike when you saw ladies sunbaking across the hedges next to the bike path whilst training in Copenhagen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't go much next to the beaches in Copenhagen, but I know they're there. But I think this year in the Vuelta we had a few problems. We had one of the easiest stages along the coast, and we had a fair few crashes that day. So for sure, some guys had their eyes a different place than the guy in front.
Noel says, Magnus, you are far better as a champion cyclist than Björn Rees. So there you go. Noel gives you the ticks up. And Tom also says, Danes and Aussies have always had a lot in common. They like a beer. They even love trotting races. And now we both have good riders at the top of cycling. And Sam Bewley says, Maggie is the man. Great support from Bewls. But, look, mate, at the end of the day, I mean, we often ask on this show, like, what are the keys to, you think, success? Like, if people want, what can you leave behind from the Magnus Cort story to get to where you are now, which is at the top of world cycling? What are the things that you think you could pass on to the listeners?
There's a lot of hard work for sure, but I don't think hard work can do it alone. You also need the talent, and maybe you have it or maybe you don't, but hard work can get you a long way, and that starts maybe not like really early when you're very young, but it's many years, and you have to stay focused and putting in the work that's needed, and keep believing and keep believing all the time.
Good stuff, mate. Phil, anything you want to add?
No, other than to wish you all the best for the Worlds as far as the upcoming championship goes, because you could put the icing on the cake of a terrific season, and we're better than in Belgium because there's going to be millions of people watching. It'll be a great atmosphere.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. No. and fly the flag for the Danes. I've got a lot of friends in Denmark, and they're so proud when somebody from their country does well, because they're always telling me how small they are. What about little Denmark? I was thinking, what about big UK? You're better than we are, so we'll stop complaining. Get out there.
Exactly.
Good stuff, mate. Well, mate, we really appreciate you coming on the detour, mate. It's so good to see you doing so well at the moment. And you're a bloody ripping bloke. I've always said you're in the top 5 characters that I met in the Green Edge team, because you're just so dry-witted. Like, we used to be able to have so much fun because you always gave us good content on the backstages, mate, and the fans loved it. And mate, it's just great to see you doing so well.
Thanks a lot. I enjoyed being here.
No, good stuff, Maggie. Thanks, mate. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Magnus. All the best, mate.
Good on you, mate. Take it easy. Magnus Cort, what an absolute superstar, fellas. Like, as I said, he was always a legend on the Green Edge team, and it was bloody fantastic for him to come on the show. Now, Phil, you're obviously at Tour of Britain, as you mentioned before.
By accident. Always by accident. I mean, otherwise I'll be in trouble with Trish. I didn't come up here because I knew it was coming past the front door.
No, absolutely not. Now, what is going on with this young star, Hayter, who lost the jersey? He's come out and pipped the riders in the sprint. Like, what is going on?
Every day he surprises himself. He's a known talent, and he is a good rider, and obviously he's been well recognised ahead of the fact he's only 22 years of age. He'd be actually, I think he's 23 next week. He's very close to his 23rd birthday anyway. But Ineos signed him up last year from scratch, and they could see a great talent. And he's a very, he underestimates everything, but he knows where his target is. And I think he's got a real future. I think he might win this race. We'll see a bit more today. It's a tough stage to Gateshead. But he climbs well. He can sprint. He pulled one out of the bag yesterday because he had a bad start. He realised that Owen Doole, his teammate, looked as though, when he was in front of him, was about to fall. And he went round him, and sure enough, he fell. But he missed the crash. And he finally got round all the sprinters who got up there and beat him in the sprint as well. It was all happening on the run-in. It was chaotic. So this kid's the real deal. Believe me, this kid is going to be a superstar. I'm pretty sure that. Don't forget, he was also second in the Olympic Games in the Madison race.
I was just going to say.
Matthew Walls,
Yeah.
So they're making the way in life now, and I think we're going to be talking about him big time in the next 2 years. Yeah, for sure.
No, I was impressed. But interestingly, Wout van Aert was leading, but he got caught up in that crash, even though he didn't crash himself.
Only lost 8 seconds. So.
It's 8 seconds, and Alaphilippe, the stage 2 days ago, between the sprint between Wout van Aert and Julian Alaphilippe on top of that hill was bloody amazing.
Up to Great Orme.
Yeah, sensational. But it's been the other thing I noticed overnight that Dumoulin has fallen and broken his wrist.
Yeah, that's really sad.
So he's out for the rest of the season, which is really sad. He was really happy.
There's a vehicle involved in that one. I don't know whose fault it was, but there's a vehicle involved that was turning in the road, and he's broken his fractured his wrist. Yeah, that's really sad because I think he would have been a strong man on. I don't even know if he's selected for the Worlds. I'm sure he was.
He was red hot favourite. One of the not red hot, a favourite for the time trial.
Yes,
I think he got silver at the Olympics. So so it's bad.
Yes,
the other bit of news which you will really like this, Dan. Your mate. Patrick Lefevre.
I already had the photo queued up, mate.
he had another big pot shot at Sam Bennett.
I know.
In all honesty, I think Patrick has 2 enemies, Sam Bennett and his mouth. Not Sam Bennett's mouth, Patrick's mouth. Because some of the things he comes out with in Bell, and the Belgian journalists will encourage those comments because it's headline writing stuff. And he's always coming to the plate to say.
Well, I think one of the quotes was it was Sam Bennett's really playing with my balls now. It's like, mate, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just let it go.
Well, he was going to dock his pay. He was going to be dock his pay at the end of the year because he's leaving, as we all know. And we hadn't raced, but by racing in the
European Championship,
it means it's hard for him to do that. So he's angry,
and he hasn't ridden for Quick Step. He's riding for the national team, so he's found a loophole, and he's done the middle third. And he's gone, oh, you think you can take the honours in this sprint? No, I don't think so, mate.
Now, Patrick said he'll never wear the Koenig jersey again. Well, he's right in that respect because he'll pull on the Irish jersey instead.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But, I mean, it's laughable now. Like, when it gets to that point.
It's a shame. It's a real shame because
I know.
It's a silly situation. And I don't know how he's developed, really, because he's such a meek and mild man, Sam Bennett. And of course, Patrick was very much appreciated what he was doing when he was riding for him and winning the green jersey, etc. Something turned the whole thing sour, and Patrick does bear grudges, as we know. So.
And as I've always said, like you just aren't going to win by airing your jocks out in public, you know. But as you know, Phil,
there's no winner. There's no winner.
The Belgian press would just be like, imagine the journo getting those quotes on his dictaphone. He'd be like, "Oh, mate, this is a promotion."
The one thing about all of this, though, the person who really has to is Sam Bennett himself. He has not uttered one word in retaliation.
We should get him on the detour.
No social media. Well, yes,
I'll get him.
Good idea.
I'll get him.
Yeah,
I'll send him a message.
No,
all right.
Okay.
We'll give him a return of serve. We'll really wind him up. No, I think we don't want to get involved, Phil. We're better than that. We are. We're not.
No, we're not.
We don't want to upset Patrick either because he's got such a great team there.
Oh,
we might need his team. We might need his team. Maybe not Patrick. Well, I know Patrick quite well. We chat all occasionally.
I see he hasn't signed. Cav says he wants to ride with them next year, but it's not up to me. Cav says.
Yes.
So obviously, he hasn't offered him a contract yet.
Well, I suppose Cav expects more money after his great Tour de France, but Patrick's not really interested because he probably thinks next year he'll be on his way down.
Well, Sam's broken news. She says, I see Viviani is off to Ineos. That's a surprising signing.
Yeah, it's going home.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, whatever. I can't see what his role will be. But anyway,
he's going to get a chance at doing some of the classics, I think.
Now, Iffy, you're the team mascot. Will Wizard says, congratulations, Magnus. You made a fantastic TV viewing. Just another to leave Bike Exchange and win. Next is Robert Stannard. So that was obviously announced today that he's going to be leaving. There are a number of riders that are leaving the Bike Exchange team, John. Do you think this period now for them is almost a clean slate? You know, reset, start a different direction, because there have been a lot of riders to leave. I mean, where do you think things are at the moment?
Well, I know young Rob's going to Alpecin Phoenix, so they've offered him a pretty good deal. I know that Bike Exchange are talking to some very good young riders at the moment, so they haven't announced anything at this stage. But I'm sure, watch this space.
So you need to just get your double shot and get back to races, Johnny, and just get them all fired up, the mascot. Yeah. You had a massive influence back in those days.
They need me over there. They do. They need me over there. Anyway.
Yeah. Fair enough. And Johnny, breaking news. We obviously were promoting the Amy Gillett Grand Fondo for a long time there, but unfortunately they've had to postpone it now till next year. No. But if anyone did buy the kit, I mean, that's not a big drama. We want you to send photos of the kit. We want you to get involved. It's still good kit. And we're still going to get a chance, Johnny, to wear that kit in some form of another when restrictions ease.
You're frozen.
Well, I think the detour degenerates. We'll put an offer out there. Anyone who wants to come and join us, we'll pick a really nice day, and I'll still get your e-bike going for you.
Yes, please,
Dan, and we'll get a really good ride on. But yeah, it's a shame because of the whole COVID situation. They had to make a decision yesterday. Amy Gillett Foundation to cancel the event for 2021. But next year it'll be back bigger and better than ever. So I've got a new date. I think it's going to be
11th of September, is it?
Or 19th, was it? Anyway, but September next year, yeah. So really sad. I was really looking forward to it. We were looking at doing the gravel Grand Fondo, which would have been a lot of fun.
Oh, I would have binned it.
Yeah, you probably would have.
I would have binned it for sure. But people still can get involved with Phil's peloton. That's correct, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah.
Well,
that's absolutely.
That's a good lead in for a video we have on that exact thing. So I might as well play it now. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, it's Phil Liggett here, and it's time to get my African safari on the road again. We're heading back to the Kareka Game Reserve in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, where animals including the rhino roam freely. We did 4 great rides in June, and now with 2 new ones we're set to go again. There will be eminent guests to answer your questions on the wildlife and also offer an opportunity to win amazing trips to Kareka. We'll chat to one another, and you don't even have to ride thanks to Fulgaz, who will set you up to watch on Zoom when you enroll and make a donation. We have 4 rides, 1 per month, starting on September 19. They last an hour, and if you have a smart trainer you can pedal your way through the reserve, or you can just sit back with a cup of tea. In either case, knowing that your participation is helping keep the animals safe and free to roam. Come and join me, and all the information you need to have is at kareka.co.za/peloton, and let's go.
Get involved, folks. Get involved.
Getting close now. I must start riding my bike again.
That's right.
No, looking forward to it.
Go on,
sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I must say that we could do with more guys getting into the peloton at the moment. You haven't got a pen, you just get online and join us and hopefully make a donation. We're very close to our target now. In fact, after that wonderful present that we got from Amia, which we auctioned off, as you know, to Niels, who paid $7,500 for that. That has pushed us very close to our target, which was $35,000. I think we're 31 now.
That's
so we're
fantastic.
close. And once we hit 35,000, there are 2 magnificent prizes being awarded to come to Kareka. All expenses paid. From the minute you land in Port Elizabeth, you won't pay a cent more for a week. And so we'll be releasing those once we hit $35,000. This is a foundation situation. We can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
So we're all very happy. And thankfully, so far, fingers crossed, no poaching has taken place. But one good piece of news was recently in the Kruger National Park, they just sentenced 3 poachers to jail sentences, 3 of them totaling 105 years in jail. So this is serious business now. And I hope this is getting out there to the poachers. If you get caught, 2 things can happen. 1, they shoot you dead, because if you're armed, there's a shoot to kill policy. And the second is, if you happen to be lucky enough to get caught, you'll go to jail.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's good, as you said, that they're getting on top of that. And there hasn't been any poaching of late. But, yeah, all the donations, as you said, it means a lot. And having Lindy on the other week was great, because it gives you an insight into just the passion. Like, everyone loves to hear passionate people talk, and you're not going to find many more passionate people about conservation than
and you must understand, she's the guardian of the foundation. She is not making any personal form of income out of this. She is the guardian of the foundation and the animals and the people of her region. She's a wonderful lady. So hats off to Lindy. And by the way, on the first one, I'm going to be talking to Dr. Will Foles, who is one of the legendary vets of Africa, because he was the one that saved the life of Tandy when her face was hacked off by the poachers. He put her back together again, and since then she had 3 kids. And he will tell you the importance of trying to save the iconic animals of South Africa and Africa in general. Yeah.
Tom Maloney says, got my detour kit ordered. How about a Zwift ride or another online ride in the gear as a fundraiser? I think that we've just come up with the answer. Let's get behind Phil's African Safari.
There is indeed. That would be a great idea, and I'd love to see Tom on board and come and say hello to us. It's easy, Tom. You just go to the address kareka.co.uk/peloton, and you'll get all the information how to join us online. You'll find Iffy there in his racing kit, but not on his bike, and probably Dan as well.
Yeah, I'm planning to get on the bike this time. That's the plan.
That's all right.
Now, interestingly,
we'll do it.
Interestingly, Tom Maloney, who's put a couple of little, he was in that Tour of Denmark that I rode in 1973. That's why he came up with that line about the nude sunbathing. I remember it quite well, Tom. Yes, I do.
Hey, we've got a lot of passionate regular contributors to the show, and we encourage people to ask questions online. And John, we want to send a cheerio to Free Ranger, who's had a few health battles.
Exactly. He sent me a lovely note the other day saying he's missed the last couple of weeks of the Vuelta because he's had a few problems with the ticker, so he's going to have some serious surgery. He's about to go in and have that. So, Darren, from all us mob at the Detour, we'd just like to wish you all the best, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, operations on hearts are usually very, very successful. So take off from that.
That's right. It's been a massive show. We want to send a massive thank you to Magnus Cort, of course, for giving us some fantastic insights. And as you said, if he is a big favourite for the Worlds. Anything you want to add before we wrap things up, fellas?
No, here's to the next time. I'm going to nip out and watch the Tour of Britain go past now.
Good stuff, mate.
We will be talking to Jack Haig in the next few days. We're just waiting on, he's having a little bit of a wind down, a little bit of an ease up. So we're just waiting.
This is the thing people need to understand is when you do a Grand Tour and you go deep, the last thing you want to be doing is getting peppered by a podcast. You got to just back away to get an interview. You don't want to press too hard. So we will get it over time, but
he said yes. He said yes.
That's why you need to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Detour Podcast, and tick on notifications so that when we do go live, you'll get a notification. So you'll know whenever we do chat to someone and you can get involved. Okay. So that's the reason why. And we appreciate people that have been doing it so far. It does make a difference. So thanks for being on the show, Phil. Bloody legend, mate. Enjoy your Tour of Britain today.
Lovely. No, thanks, looking forward to it. I'm waving from the roadside. That's a new departure for me.
Yeah.
I'm just a spectator. Can't wait.
You cowbell?
I should have, shouldn't I? Yeah. It was funny yesterday driving up here on the freeway. A couple of the Tour of Britain cars went past. They were making their way forward to the hotel last night, which was over in Carlisle, not too far away from here. And my heart, just a little twinge there, wishing I was with them. But on the other hand, no, I'm happy today. Yeah.
Good stuff, mate.
Okay.
Well, thanks again for tuning in, guys. We'll see you again soon for another episode of the Detour Live. Thanks for the support. Take it easy, Phil. See you guys.